Carsie Blanton, I'm sad we've come to the end of our tour. This is our last day, but that's nearly irrelevant. It has been wonderful to have you along on the tour. I've said on many nights that I love your writing and I very much admire your politics. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, it's been lovely to be on the tour. What a special opportunity to join such a happy family here on the road.
Oh, thank you. I didn't mean to make this about me or the tour at all.
Well, just to get it out of the way.
Sure, thank you.
Tell you about myself. Well, I grew up in Virginia in the Blue Ridge Mountains and come from a musical family, but not professional musicians.
Mm-hmm.
But we did a lot of sitting around the fireplace playing songs, which is quite a popular activity here in Ireland, it turns out. Not as popular where I come from, though, so it's been nice to have the excuse to be in so many pubs playing songs. But what else? I've had kind of an eclectic life in many ways. I started touring pretty young. I was 16 when I went on my first tour, and I've had jobs, but never was very serious about any of them other than this one. I've gotten quite serious about this one, though. A little too serious at times.
Wow, sometimes I won't comment, but I think I will. Sometimes I think we need to take ourselves seriously. What made you write your first song, and why do you continue to write? What does it give you?
I remember being quite obsessed with songs from an early age. Like, I actually have this memory of being maybe 7 or 8, and I had just learned the John Prine song "Dear Abby," but it has an expression in it, "knock on wood," and I didn't know what that meant. So I remember rewriting the lyrics of "Dear Abby" to try and have it still rhyme, but I wanted it to be something to me it was like, well, that doesn't make sense because I was 7, I didn't know the expression. Yeah. So I think I was really interested in songs from an early age, and then I grew up taking piano lessons, which I hated. And then at 13, I switched to guitar, and then it sort of like opened up for me and started working on songs. But it took me a few years to write one that I liked. I remember having a whole bunch of just like a big pile of scrappers. And then I was probably 15 or 16, and I met a boy and wrote a song, and that was the first one that I liked. And I remember it really vividly because it's called Lovesick.
Nice.
And I remember too, because it was like in the era of romance where like we just walked around all night, through the night, talking. That was our romance. There was no funny business. Yeah. It was just like a very pure crush. And then I remember the sun was coming up and I wrote that song. And I was like, well, that was pretty fun.
Beautiful.
So I got hooked.
You have a lot to say. I saw somebody in a movie once say, seemed to be like a fashionable thing in the 60s or 70s to say what you're about. I'm interested in transcendental meditation.
Yeah.
What are you about, Carsie, or what makes you tick?
Well, I think for much of my life it was art and music and creativity, the creative process. And the plot has thickened a bit in recent years. I've gotten quite interested in politics since the election of Trump. That's when I was interested in politics already, but sort of just as a passing intellectual curiosity. And then when Trump won, I got very interested in what the cultural situation was that would allow that to happen and make so many people feel that he was a good guy and a trustworthy leader and everything. And so then I started really studying politics in a more serious way and have gotten involved in organizing as well. And just recently, it's felt like the two have come together where I'm able to write about politics and also organize about art. So now I'm sort of...
It's become a vehicle for
your
feelings on these things.
Yeah, and I'm also involved in organizing artists and musicians to do more political projects. And so just in this past year, it's sort of the two integrated again. I felt like I had this split, and I was like, maybe I'll have to choose one. And now it feels more like they're two sides of the same coin, which is like, I guess what I'm about is reflecting the times back to people and also participating in the times.
I'm going to ask you a question and give you license to do something that as artists we don't ever really do.
Okay.
And that's to pick a favorite lyric of your own, something you're particularly proud of, that you kind of go, I'm glad I wrote that, or I'm happy with that. Where did that come from, or something?
Well, I have this song, Down in the Streets, which I do in almost every show, and that's a song I'm quite proud of because I was trying to write a protest song, and I worked on it for a long time, and it kept feeling like it wasn't right. And I really love the opening line of that, which is, Mama, it's a disaster, going faster and faster, and all of my heroes turning out to be bastards. And that to me really elucidated what it has felt like in recent years, at least stateside, as sort of like we were living in this very pleasant illusion about who our leaders were and what was happening around us, and now it's sort of curdled in this way. So I felt like that line really reflected the times, and I was like, yes, I got it.
I like it. Do you have any other favorite lyrics of anybody, or a favorite line of any particular song?
So many.
Yeah.
I've often said this, and I think it's at least mostly true, that my favorite lyric is from the John Prine song, Fish and Whistle, which is, Father, forgive us for what we must do. You forgive us, we'll forgive you. Perfect turn of phrase there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's John all over.
That's a lot of information to get into one little rhyming pair.
That's what he was great at.
Yeah.
That's what he was great at.
And it's a joke as well. It's like a joke and not a joke at the same time. Love that.
We can talk about John all day.
Good.
Let's go back to your music for a moment. Would you like to play us something? Could you play us a song?
Sure. What?
Anything.
Just anything. Just anything. I think I'm going to play Harbour, actually. That has a line I really like in it, but I didn't write it, which is, ships are safe in harbor, but that ain't what ships are for. That's apparently a phrase from a Australian, naval captain of the 1800s or something, some guy who was traveling around. I don't know if he was Australian or he just lived in Australia, actually, because it would have been quite early, I guess. But I love that concept. What's your interpretation of what it means? My interpretation is that, well, there's sort of two sides. One is not to overemphasize safety, because I think we have a tendency to be very self-protective, and it keeps us from a lot of good experiences and also important work. Mm-hmm. But I also think it has a connotation of that you were made for something. So like the way a ship is made to be at sea, I think that we were all made for something. And so there's an idea of like, find what you were made for and do it, even if it doesn't make you safe.
You know what you were made for?
I mean, just doing it.
Good answer.
Here it is.
Straight in.
I'm not sure, should I sing to you? I'm going to sing to the ether. It isn't safe out here, it's perfectly clear. I should have known it was a big mistake. Could have stayed at home, not answered the phone, and never given you my heart to break. But lovers run to ruin, soldiers run to war. Ships are safe in harbor, but that ain't what ships are for. Hearts are made for breaking, you were made for me. So batten down the hatches, honey, we'll sail away to sea. We had a lot to learn and courage to burn. We were the cutest little fools in town. I was an awful mess, but you were the best, and I was trying not to let you down. But lovers run to ruin, soldiers run to war. Ships are safe in harbor, ships are for. Love is for the making. You were made for me. So batten down the hatches, honey. We'll sail away to sea. It can seem insane, the wind and the rain, howling through the dark of the night. But when the stars come out, the darkest of doubt is nothing to the joy of their light. It isn't safe out there, and you're getting scared, and honey, you got every right to be. But the time is now, so steady the prow and go ahead into the mystery. Lovers run to ruin, soldiers run to war. Ships are safe in harbor, but that ain't what ships are for. Hearts are made for breaking. You were made for me. So batten down the hatches, honey. We'll sail away to sea.
Carsie Blanton, thank you so much for sharing your gift with us.
Ah.
Keep doing so. We want to hear a lot more.
Thanks, Dick.